Hi guys, welcome to Shayna-Mae, OG Trans Gal. No, this is not going to be the musical hour. I was just actually out here in the shop working on a little song that I've been thinking about for the last couple weeks. I'm writing a song about how the Hollywood strike is affecting me. And that's kind of a therapeutic thing that I've started doing in the last couple years. And it helps me improve on something I've always wanted to be able to do, and that was play the guitar. A few years, I bought this one a few years ago, and I've just been kind of working it out and enjoying the process and making some improvements along the way. And there's plenty of room for more improvement, and I mean plenty of room. But you know, I had a thought, and I thought, well, you know, why don't I turn the camera on and share this with my YouTube friends out there. And thank you for all those who've joined the channel and subscribed. I think 56 of you now are kind of listening to what I got to say, whether you agree with it or not, but you're there, and I appreciate it, so thank you. It helps maybe get some of my story out there for people it may help. I don't know if it does or if it doesn't, but enough people in the comments section have said, you know, keep doing what you're doing. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And, you know, to get to the topic, I talked with my sister today, and it was really nice to talk to her as her brother. And I really felt like we had that brother-sister bond back, because it was never there as sister-sister. I was really hard on her, and she shared some stuff with me today. She felt finally comfortable saying, like, just how much it really hurt her, and it made her sad that she was losing her brother, because she really loved having a brother. And, you know, I've got some amends to make, you know, I think. And that got me thinking about my recovery when I quit drinking. And a couple years after I got sober, I went out and I started making amends to people when I got to that step in my recovery. And those amends really set me free. And that got me thinking about the estrogen and how much it's changed since I stopped taking that estrogen 3 weeks ago, how much my life has changed, how much my mood has changed, how much my spirit has come back. A spirit that I didn't realize was fading away into a fog, because I was so convinced and so addicted to that hormone rush that would come with the change of every patch. There was always a sense for me of a very euphoric hit. That fresh new patch, I felt so feminine, and it would do something even to me like, I want to say it was almost a sexual feeling, but it was just sort of an intense feminine turn on. Very interesting, but with really no means to express it, you know, and act upon it, because the testosterone blocker was pretty much giving me a limp noodle, an underperformer. And, you know, my wife wasn't particularly attracted to me looking that way. She loved me, and she would be intimate with me, but, you know, I could tell, you know, it only happened a couple times, and like, she wasn't into it. She was just being a loving, supporting wife. So I got some amends to make there too. And I think it'll help that I'm presenting myself as male again. But, you know, I was really thinking today, as like, was the estrogen like a drug for me? And it wasn't easy to admit, and I don't know it for sure. I don't want to be too critical on myself, but I do see some parallels between the way I drank, as far as how I'd plan my life, the things I would do, things I wouldn't do. Like, there were certain people I wouldn't hang around if they only drank 1 or 2 beers, because I didn't want to look like an alcoholic in front of them. So I was always trying to control how people saw me. And same with my looks, right? Putting on the makeup and, you know, putting on the prettiest, most feminine clothes. And as much as I like those clothes, but there was a point behind it. Like, I wanted everything to mask the man, and everything was hinging on the femininity. But that estrogen meant a lot to me. I wouldn't travel if I couldn't take it with me. I'd get very worried if my patch fell off and I was days away from home. I'd get anxious, you know, because I'd anticipate the mood swing, and I'd be worried, you know, that it was, you know, whatever the reason was, I just got really uneasy when I didn't have the patch, or if I forgot my testosterone blockers. Now, the testosterone blocker, I got kind of like, okay, well, if I miss a day or two, no big deal. But the estrogen, if I missed it for a day or two, like I'd literally be convinced that I was going to fall away from my feminine desire, and I obsessed over having it with me, having extra ones, having some in the office, some in the car, some in my purse. You know, if it was summertime or humid like it is now, I'd make sure that I had a couple with me every day, because I sweat and it lost its adhesion. Like it was really kind of like my puppet master to a certain degree. And I had a lot of emphasis on the estrogen was going to fix me, and it was going to bring me happiness because it was going to allow me to become a woman and present myself like a woman. And that's a lot the way I looked at drugs. You know, it was changing my perception of the world and of myself. And today I was like, wow, maybe I'm in another time of recovery in my life. And just like I've been doing lately with trying to be on a spiritual path, asking God to guide me through this, help me with the dysphoria, give me new tools to manage it, accepting, you know, that I cannot become a woman as much as I want to be one, and finding a way to live with the acceptance of I am a male who feels like I want to be a woman because I have gender dysphoria or body dysmorphia. And that's, you know, more important that I get down to the underlying issue of what causes that. And, you know, because it's more of a mental health issue. And, you know, alcohol never solved any of my problems, as much as I thought it would be a temporary solution, but it was a sign of deeper underlying issues. And estrogen wasn't curing me, you know, because even living as a gal, I was still dysphoric. You know, I was still wondering, was I pretty enough? And I was always wanting more, just like with alcohol. You know, one drink would become two, two would become 10, 10 would become 20, 20 would become hard alcohol and more drugs. And, you know, initially taking the testosterone blocker and the estrogen was enough, but then I wanted larger breasts, and I didn't want to wait, but I did. I was patient in that point, but the breasts started growing, and once I got the breast, and once my butt and my thighs filled out, I started obsessing over my jaw. I started, you know, getting Botox shots. I started dyeing my hair. And then in recent years, I was really contemplating, do I have the testicles removed? Yeah, a vagina will make me feel complete. You know, I'm going to have my penis, you know, inverted, and I'm going to make a vagina. But would that be enough? Would I want to seek validation through a sexual relationship with men to prove I was a woman? Even though I wasn't attracted to men, you know, would I find pleasure in it by feeling a penis inside of me? Would that validate me? Would that allow me to embrace my womanhood and become a woman like 99%? Would that be enough? And it probably wouldn't be. I would probably want to get facial surgery, jaw surgery, nose treatments. I could see it coming, but I was denying it. Just like with my alcoholism. I saw that I was losing friends. I saw that my bosses at the time where I worked were, you know, like, why are you late? You know, why are you acting like that? You know, where were you at lunch? And even though the circumstances were different, there were a lot of similarities. And I don't know any of this is true or not, but it's just something that I'm going to be thinking about for the next week, and I'll get back to you guys on it. And it was just kind of popping in my head while I was working on the song and stuff tonight. I was like, wow, you know, I can use my recovery program to deal with the worry and the tough times of detransitioning, but maybe I'll share this story with you guys, you know, because recovery has been a huge part of my life. Recovery helped me get to the man who built the business. And, you know, much like alcohol was starting to strip things away from me trying to convince myself that I could live as a woman was causing me to not focus on the things in life that were providing for me and my family. And just like alcoholism is a very self-seeking, self-centered thing to do, wasn't that kind of like my transition? I put it before my family, I put it before my wife, I put it before my career, I put it before my staff, I put it before my friends, and I really expected it to fix me, when all it took was just opening my heart to God. Lots more to unpack and for me to figure out, guys. I am just a guy with a gal's soul, maybe, trying to figure it out. But I was also a pretty broken up kid, and went through a lot of abuse. I was raped, I was beaten, abandoned, and maybe Maybe that's just what it took. Experiencing that in my life to realize it wasn't going to work and that I'm just enough. So, I don't know. I just felt like coming here and saying that tonight. No fancy outro, no fancy music. I'll be back soon, guys. God bless you all. Turn up the light. Talk to you soon.